I love that. But you know what else I love? I love capital. Yeah, I love financial capital. But whenever I've chased money, and this may be real to you, I've never been able to find it. Closing a deal, money flows. So the idea is to look at capital as money, of course, but you got to look at the other side of it, human capital. Look at the influence and leverage of other people you know. Utilize those resources and everybody wins, because no great thing ever manifested as a result of any one person.
You need capital to succeed. But capital can be somebody else's capital, it can be your capital. It can be mental, emotional, or physical capital. But here's the thing to understand is that everybody starts off with nothing. Everybody who is successful today was once unsuccessful, and what they did is they built up their mental, emotional, physical, and intellectual capital, and then were able to multiply it to achieve their goals.
Because money and resources are nothing more than a tool. They fuel our dreams.
You need one of two things, either resources that are friends or resources of money.
You are human capital. You're an opportunity waiting to happen. Your potential never depreciates.
Use those talents to produce that human capital, because you're worth something.
You see, we're paid in direct proportion to the amount of lives we impact and our ability to be replaced. So every day, invest in yourself and learn more about the people around you so that you can all win at the game of life.
I represent 70 tribal sovereign nations. We collectively are a $6 billion industry. We employ over 52,000 people.
When I made the movie Rudy, I didn't have the money or the capital, but other people did. So I built relationships to get there.
We are actually reinvesting within our own communities and with each other. We're loaning each other money, we're consulting with each other, we're building diverse economies.
The more human capital you provide others, the more others are willing to provide and invest back in you.
You ever notice sometimes you pick up a phone and you make a cold call and you say, hi, here's who I am, and they say, don't have time for you? But if you call somebody and say, hi, your friend Joe told me to call you, then they say, sure, let's take all the time we want. What you're able to do is borrow a reputation. You're able to have somebody else open a door for you. That's human relationship capital.
Always look for ways to add value to the lives and work of other people, and you'll always end up retaining a part of that value.
Hey, you ever try to throw a party alone, celebrate something alone? Not a lot of fun. It's that cooperation that's missing. It's that community feeling. Well, sure, I tinker in my shop alone, and I've got great statistics for product placement, but none of it happens in a vacuum. You've got to create this cooperative effort in order to make your vision a reality.
Do you realize there's power in cooperation? Let me share something with you. One goose can fly 75% further in formation with other geese than they can ever fly by themselves. Find somebody that you can work with and make things happen.
Andrew Carnegie taught me a long time ago, surround yourself with people who can do all the things you can't do, and hire people that are better than you.
Every one of us is gifted with things that we love to do, and we find other things really difficult, but other people may find those things easy. So again, hire people who play at things you have to work at, and you will achieve magical success in your business and your life.
Having a good candidate is important, but more important than having a good candidate is to have a good speechwriter, to have a good planner, to have a good director, to have people who know how to put the whole program together to give you a successful outcome on election day.
In life, in business, one of the greatest lessons that you can learn is to look at those around you, find out what their strengths and assets are, and leverage those.
And everyone has a different talent. You have a talent, I have a talent, but when we work together, 1 + 1 = 11, not 2. Synergy is the ability to take the sum of the parts and put them together and make a team that is unbeatable.
Teamwork is essential in all elements, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a team of people. It could be a team of resources. It could be a team of anything that supports your primary purpose.
When I was the CEO of Southwest Airlines, we focused on 3 major areas. Vision, what business are you really in, and then develop a culture to support it. And the key component was higher attitudes, teach them the skills. Higher attitudes, teach them the skills.
If you work with people, if you can find people that you can cooperate with, that creates a synergy, and that synergy creates momentum. And people who learn how to cooperate are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have.
Thank you for that sequence. You know, Scott, I'm known for reminding people that they're either green and growing or ripe and rotting, and they're never standing still. Well, our guests here today, they're here because they're committed to growing themselves and adding to their value. Could you help them out by sharing another example of the sequence in action?
Sure, Dave. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine, Stephen E. He created the book series, Wake Up, Live the Life You Love. It all started one morning when the strangest thing happened. He woke to a voice, and the voice said, "Write a book." Well, understandably, he was excited and inspired, and he couldn't get back to sleep. So he got up and called everyone he knew and asked if they would help with his vision. Well, a few weeks went by. He threw a party, had all his friends come over and contribute a story to help get his book written. Well, after a few months, what do you know? He published his book. Well, at least now you see he had something to present to the marketplace. He went out to the local bookstores and asked if they would carry his book. Well, I remember it, like it was yesterday. He was devastated. They turned him down flat. As he tells me, he was turned down hundreds of times. Well, he didn't give up. See, he believed in his dream. He woke up, kept showing up and following up. Well, it was a good thing he did, because see, that was a couple of years ago. And today, he's got 20 books on the market, with most of them being Barnes & Noble bestsellers, with authors like Les Brown, Brian Tracy, and Dennis Waitley.
Isn't it time to get inspired and live the life you love? This is great.
So as you can see, he followed that important sequence of action steps to bring that idea from out of his head into the marketplace.
Excellent. Now that's a great replicable system. And what a wonderful example of the power of commitment.
Commitment is the heart of everything. Commitment, that word is so sacred we shouldn't even say it. Because see, in life, there comes a time you can't go on. You can't go on. But you know when you grow? You don't grow when you can't go on. You grow when you won't give up. And you know when you won't give up? When you're committed and you can't give up.
Now here's an example of commitment in action. A story with our good friend Ruben Gonzalez, 3-time Olympian.
When I was 21, I was watching the Olympics on TV, and I saw this little guy win the gold medal in figure skating, Scott Hamilton. When I saw him win that gold medal, he gave me hope. I said to myself, if that little guy can do it, I can do it too. I want to be in the next Olympics no matter what. It's a done deal. I just got to find a sport. Well, I wasn't a great athlete, so my plan was to find a sport that was so tough, a sport that had so many broken bones in it, there'd be a lot of quitters. Only I wouldn't quit. I chose the luge. I'll tell you where I live. I live in hot and humid Houston, Texas. And I was going to do the luge, an ice sport, a winter sport. I didn't know anything about the luge, but it didn't matter. So I called the luge track in Lake Placid, New York. And I told the guy, I'm an athlete here in Houston. I want to learn how to luge, so I'm in the Olympics in 4 years. Will you help me? And the guy goes, how old are you? I said, 21. He starts laughing at me. He goes, 21? Forget it, man. You're 10 years too late. If you want to do it at your age, you want to do it in just 4 years, it's brutal. 9 out of 10 people quit. When he said that, I started smiling. I thought to myself, man, this works right into my plan. This is perfect. I went to Lake Placid to learn how to luge, and the guy was right. It was brutal. The first 2 years, I was crashing 4 out of 5 times. 4 out of 5. But I kept at it. In the third year, I went from crashing 4 out of 5 to crashing 1 out of 100. I figured it out. And on the 4th year, I made the Olympic team. I made my dream come true. If you have a dream, you're willing to go for it, and you refuse to quit, you can make that dream come true.
Commitment and success. And it takes us right where we want to be, the vault of success. Inside is a code. Just may change your life. See, chances are your entire life you've heard people say, find your major definite purpose or live your purpose. What you don't often hear are the specifics on how to actually find that purpose. Well, check this out.